Okay, good. All right, perfect. All right, let's go on. Let's go on.
Yay!
It's Friday. It's High Day.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday, everyone. So listen, I wanted to start off by saying there's been a lot going on. This is a very intense time for a lot of people. As a high performance coach, I have a lot of clients having a lot of stress in regards to what's going on financially, what's going on with the shifting sands of our economy. And I just want to say, I feel it, I hear it, I know it, and I'm absolutely here for those people who are experiencing that, right, Linda? I mean, how's it going with you in this situation? You feeling it in your clients?
Not in my clients yet, but my husband was bringing it up. And I really had some thoughts about that because in the past, we were having the pandemic and people, I felt like, was dreaming canceled? We were so busy trying to survive and we forgot that we could still thrive because we were just trying to make it through to the other side, hoping nothing like that ever happens again. But what I discovered was that our dreams are not canceled, that God is in charge. He's always been in charge, and that we can still dream and we can still accomplish our dreams, even in the worst of circumstances. I mean, I just believe that God gives you the water in the desert. And when I was flat on my back, he blessed me with the Sisterhood of Sweat gym, and that we have a higher power, I believe, out there a little bit, better than what I could do, Linda Mitchell. So I depend upon the fact there is a higher power, higher than the economy.
Yes.
And right. So I think about that and I try to have faith and trust. And instead of listening to the forecast that everything's going to be terrible, I try to create my own forecast by what I do, what I invest in, what actions I take, and what precautions I might follow.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, because it does require taking precautions. Yeah, I really appreciate that. It's like, what's our internal forecast? What are you setting as your internal forecast? That's a great way to say it, isn't it? So one of the ways I just want to talk about tips and tools and strategies. We are missing our Kelly. Kelly may come on. I know she was in the midst of travel. We're moving into that time of year, and she may come in. So we'll just wait for her. But really, what we want to talk about today are ways that we can manage, strategies that we can apply when we're feeling overwhelmed and depressed, because it can be. I'm not going to mince words here. It can make us frozen. It can make us immovable in terror.
Because you're scared. You're scared to death.
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. So what are some tips, Linda, that you'd want to share that has helped you as far as maybe exercise or nutrition or mindset or anything? Because obviously you have a very successful podcast. You have a very successful business. So you've reached a level of success despite all the challenges that you've gone through, and you've had many. And so, number one, first off, I want to say honor and validate your journey, because you and I are here because of the challenges and the wins that we've meshed together. So first off, I honor you, and I would love to hear, what would you share with the audience in regards to your.
Just like there are 60-year-olds and 69-year-olds and 70-year-olds that look like they're in their 30s. There are also the opposite. There are people that look older than their age. I hate to say, they didn't take good care of their temple, or maybe something has happened that has caused them to be unable to take care of themselves. And recognizing that there's always opposite ends of the spectrum. There's always somebody that's better at something than you or not as good. And just realizing that, yes, there could be some terrible times ahead, but I think you can create your own forecast. I had the best success during the pandemic, better than I ever had.
Mm,
And I just, I'm grateful. I believe that it was a blessing, but I also have had hard times before. And when I think about my hard times, when it was 2008, my husband's a structural engineer, and suddenly people are canceling their projects because they can't get loans from the bank.
mm,
And I was, you know, I mean, it might have been a little before 2008, but I just remember we had this apartment building and we were about to go bankrupt at the time. I
right.
think I felt like, and I just needed to have something that made me feel successful, like I was winning, like I was accomplishing, not like I was going to tank. So
Right.
that
Amen.
that was when I started fitness competitions.
Mm,
I just needed something good that brought me joy to focus on. And during this pandemic, I mean, I'm no stranger to survival. I've survived, domestic violence. I survived hard times because when I was first married, we were on an airman's salary. And I know what survival is about.
mm.
And when there are tough times, you have to just go through the storm. You have to just get yourself focused and clear and on what it is you want, and you have to put your nose to the grindstone. That's the only way out of is through. And so those are some of the tactics I used during all of this turmoil, was just knowing that just because somebody gave a bad forecast doesn't mean that it has to be a bad forecast for you. Somebody's going to be making millions of dollars during the pandemic. Somebody's going to make millions of dollars next year. Let that be us. Let that be you.
Right, exactly. Embrace it. And it's that mustard seed of faith, that sense of possibility. I think that something that's really important to talk about as far as habits. I mean, obviously, I'm a high performance coach, so I focus a lot on outcome based decisions and powerful questionings on how we
Oh,
can
yeah.
live a more powerful life. Because it is really about asking ourselves powerful questions. This is not taught in our culture. We're not taught to ask ourselves powerful questions and to hold ourselves accountable by asking ourselves powerful questions. It's weird. Like when you first ask people a question like, how do you want to feel at the end of the day? Could you give me one word as to how you want to feel at the end of the day? People are like, right? So we have the ability to create a habit by asking ourselves powerful questions. And that's something I do as a coach. And clearly there's journals, there's lists of ways. I'd be happy to share that with people. What are the powerful questions that you can ask yourself? One of the things that I want to just talk about real briefly is this whole concept. We all hear this thing called healthy boundaries. We hear it all the time. So what is healthy boundaries to you, right? There are different standards of healthy boundaries. And I just want to talk about a couple of them, one in particular. And the first one is standards of behavior. And what does that mean? And why is this important when we're talking about anxiety and overwhelm? Because the number one thing that I hear from clients is, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm anxious. I'm stressed. They don't have any sense of present moment. And guess what? Oftentimes what that means is that they're not clear on who they are. They don't have a healthy boundary with themselves. Listen, it's not always about healthy boundaries with other people. So what are those? And write it down. What are your standards of behavior to how you're going to have a relationship with yourself? And what is the standard of behavior on what you will accept in other relationships? Whew, I'm going to get personal. My daughter come visit. She goes, Mom, when I come down, we're going to watch like a horror movie. And I'm like, no, we aren't, dude. You can do what you want. I just don't bring that energy into my environment. She knows that. I'm super irritating as a mother because I won't play in that space. And it took me a long time. Linda, I know you understand this feeling that when you set a boundary that is very clear, like I'm not willing to be treated in a certain way. I'm not willing for people to talk to me like that. It is scary because you're afraid I'm going to lose love, right? It's scary to create a healthy boundary, but I really want you to think about your why. Why are you here? And what is that drive? And you're talking about God right off the get-go, Linda, right on. What is the reason why you're here? I got goosebumps. What gives you that sense of meaning that you can push through and survive and thrive and look around you and say, babe, I don't want to watch that horror movie. I'm on my path. Have fun. Enjoy it. It's just not for me. And do that with love and without having to be angry or upset. Man, it changes your life. So I'd love it if you guys listening, what does it mean to have a standard of behavior? Number one, for other people, but let's look at what is our standard behavior, how we treat ourselves. So important.
Yeah. I mean, the questions are key. And you want to ask yourself questions in a more positive light. So like when I would be competing, I don't want to say to myself, what should I do? What move should I have if I fall out of my handstand? Because automatically my brain starts focusing on falling out of my handstand. So you want to ask yourself positive questions because that's where you're taking your brain. So like if I say, when did I succeed before? Or what was the best show I ever had? I automatically took my brain in a different direction. And I think it's just the same with what we're facing. It's really what you focus upon, you create.
And what I love, Linda, is that I know you have positivity in the Strength Finder. And we talked about, and like, you know me, I don't forget anything, Linda, I don't forget anything, but it's hard to have positivity and be the light in this world because people want to take it from you. And that was a big piece of you having healthy boundaries around your energy because you had to be like, this is mine and I get to choose who I share that light with, even though I was given an abundance, but I have the right to make that discernment on who gets a piece of it. Right, Linda?
Yes, and I love that you said that. That is so dope right now. People will try to steal your light, your energy, suck it out of you, maybe because they're not feeling it. Why are you so damn happy? And so you have to protect that energy. You got to see it coming. And when somebody tries to give you the present of bringing you down, you don't have to accept that gift. You can literally just see it for what it is. Look at the bigger picture of what you're here for and decide, am I going to let this person rob me of my joy, my light, and my energy? It is really a choice. And now sometimes it's hard. They will get in your ear and they'll say the meanest things with a smile. But you got to say, would I really say that to somebody? Like, really? What edification, value, what did that bring to anybody today? And see it for what it is. And you can have love for those people. You can just see that they're, maybe they're not enlightened. They're not going for their own dreams. They may have issues. You can still have love for them. It doesn't mean you need to let them suck you dry.
Absolutely.
You literally have to honor your own boundaries and you got to decide, do I want to have this energy? Then maybe I got to choose who I'm surrounding myself with today.
Totally. And I just love that about you because it is truly who you are. You are the bright light. You are a person that brings light to dark places, and it's non-negotiable for you. So for you to be able to say, why would I look at worst case scenario? It's you look backwards to get the lesson and then you're onward. And I think a lot of times if you're like that, people are like, why are you so, you just think everything's so happy. And you're like, no, I choose it. Linda, you choose that, don't you?
Oh gosh, yes. I've been through hell and back. And you know what? Everything that happens to you, if you look back over your life, there's always a lesson. There's always a lesson. And to me, it's what you choose to make out. Bad things happen to good people. We all get knocked down in life, but it's what you choose to make out of what has happened to you. It's how can I make this into something great? How can I flip this to a positive? And it's just like that whole adage of making lemonade out of a lemon, you know, or when you get knocked down, yeah, it sucked like hell when my hamstring was ripped from my pelvis with bone fragments the day before my show. I still
Yep.
competed. I
Right.
still, you know,
Of
pulled out.
course. Competition in the strength binder.
But I'm just saying
Yes.
that, yes, that sucked. But now I'm bouncing back, and I am seeing, oh my gosh, I would have never done all of the things I have done, which actually has been the most successful in my entire career, my life, the accolades that I've achieved. I would have never achieved those. I would have been competing. I would have been running too fast. I would have passed up all these magical moments and perhaps missed my greatest purpose.
Yeah,
So,
right. And so it's shoring up the healthy boundaries. So your journey was learning how to discern where you share your light so that you could rise to the frequency to which you're here to serve. And that's what I would say to listeners is just, where are those places that you're being called to serve? And what are you letting yourself be distracted by? Take ownership that you have choices that could help you rise to a higher level, you know. And let's just talk briefly about habits, you know, like how much water are you drinking in a day, right? Are you taking that 15-minute, 10-minute walk? Listen, it's 10 minutes to meditate. It doesn't have to be the super amount. Don't set yourself up for failure making some crazy ass habit. Set it up so it's cute. Habits should be cute and doable. It shouldn't be so much dread. Life is filled with dread. Choose joy. The way we experience joy is to get some competency, to build our confidence, to increase our joy. You deserve joy. You deserve a sense of fulfillment. You deserve to be the light in dark places for others. You know you were called here. Anyone who's listening right now know they've been called to bring light. And we're here to lift you. We're here to shine the light on you. We're here to carry you if need be with the piggyback, because this is the way we work and this is the way we serve. So I'm just grateful for this time, Linda. That's all I got to say.
I mean, I have gratitude. And the other day, I remember I caught myself, I was like in the morning and I was complaining, hello. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, I need to flip this. And so then I started thinking of all the things I was grateful for. And then that just kept expanding and expanding and expanding. And then that flipped my whole feeling, my whole mindset. And I suggest that to anybody, because again, it's what you focus upon that you draw to yourself. And I will say too, we were talking about energy. When I was down, nobody was trying to bring me down when I was down. I was already down. Nobody tried to bring me down. But since I've been up, it's been interesting. And because it's been so long since I've been up, I think I was a very good observer. And I have learned a thing or two. Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait. Be an observer, not an absorber. Don't absorb it. And you will learn some things that are going to be freeing to you in the future, because you can get caught in snares that keep you from moving forward. So keep your eyes on the prize today.
Yes, true that. So good. Well, thank you everyone for joining us on another Fit Girls Edition. We'll be back in a couple weeks. And today we did it at 3. We usually do it at 2, but we play with our time because we're busy girls and we appreciate your flexibility and we appreciate your support and we appreciate you tuning in. I'm Kate McKay. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.
This is Linda Mitchell, rocking it out. Compete next week. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Woo-hoo. Rocking out the 50, almost 60 plus.
That's right.
Keep us posted. Much love. Take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone.